Did you know that just about 30 seconds after waking up can directly affect the safety of your heart throughout the entire day? Many older adults have the habit of immediately getting out of bed the moment they open their eyes in order to go to the bathroom or start their day. However, according to cardiologists, this is actually one of the most vulnerable moments for the cardiovascular system and may significantly increase the risk of stroke or heart attack within just a short period of time. In this video, I will not only explain the risks, but also share a simple solution that cardiologists often recommend their patients to apply every morning. If done correctly, it may significantly reduce the strain on your heart right from the first seconds after waking up. Before we begin, please leave a comment and let me know when you wake up. Do you get out of bed immediately? Or do you stay in bed for a little while before getting up? Your response will help raise awareness about this small but very important habit. So what is actually happening inside your body the moment you wake up? When you are asleep, your body is in a deep resting state. Your heart rate slows down, blood pressure drops, and blood vessels relax. This is the phase where the cardiovascular system is at its lowest level of stress and recovery. But this state does not switch off instantly when you wake up. Instead, your body enters a very short transition phase where it has to shift from rest mode to alert mode. Just before you open your eyes, your brain already begins activating a natural morning surge of hormones. Cortisol and adrenaline are released into the bloodstream to prepare the body for activity. As a result, within a few seconds, your heart rate starts to rise, blood pressure increases, and blood vessels begin to constrict. At the same time, your nervous system shifts from a calm resting state to an active fight or flight mode. In younger people, this change is usually well controlled. The blood vessels are flexible and the body can adapt quickly without major strain. But after the age of 60, the situation becomes more sensitive. Blood vessels tend to become stiffer, and in some cases, plaque may already be present inside the arteries. So when this sudden hormone surge happens, the cardiovascular system is placed under a quick increase in pressure before it is fully stabilized. If a plaque is present and vulnerable, this pressure spike can increase the risk of it becoming unstable. When that happens, the body may form a small blood clot at the site. In serious cases, this can block blood flow to the heart or brain, leading to a heart attack or stroke. The important point is that this entire process is not necessarily caused by a major event, but can be triggered during a very short window of just 25 to 30 seconds after waking up, when the body is still in transition. The most dangerous mistake is actually something very familiar that many people never think twice about. It's the habit of jumping out of bed immediately, within just a few seconds after the alarm goes off. It sounds harmless, but for your body, this is a very sudden change in position. When you are lying down, blood is distributed relatively evenly throughout your body. But the moment you stand up quickly, gravity pulls a large amount of blood down into your legs and abdomen. This causes a temporary drop in the amount of blood returning to the heart and reaching the brain. In younger people, the body can adjust quickly. Blood vessels tighten, and the nervous system responds fast enough to stabilize blood pressure. But in older adults, this response is much slower. As a result, blood pressure can drop suddenly, leading to dizziness, lightheadedness, blurred vision, or even loss of balance. This is known as orthostatic hypotension, but the problem does not stop there. To compensate for the reduced blood flow to the brain, the heart is forced to work harder. It starts beating faster and more forcefully to push blood upward. And remember, this is happening right after the body has already released a surge of stress hormones in the morning. That means the heart is under double pressure. On one side, stress hormones are increasing heart rate and blood pressure. On the other side, The sudden change in posture is disrupting blood circulation. If the blood vessels are already stiff or have plaque buildup, this pressure can become dangerous. It may trigger an abnormal heart rhythm, or in worse cases, cause a plaque to rupture and form a blood clot. There have been real-life cases that illustrate this clearly. Take Douglas, for example, a 68-year-old man who lived a very healthy lifestyle. He ate well, exercised regularly, and took his medications as prescribed. Yet he suddenly collapsed in his bathroom. The cause was not neglecting his health, but a small daily habit. For 15 years, he had been getting out of bed immediately after waking up. A simple action that seems harmless, but when repeated every day, it can become the trigger for a serious and unexpected event. Another dangerous factor that many people overlook is dehydration after a long night of sleep. During 7 to 8 hours of sleep, the body does not receive any water intake. At the same time, it continuously loses fluids through breathing and skin evaporation. As a result, by the moment you wake up, your body is already in a mildly dehydrated state, even if you do not feel thirsty. What is important is that the sensation of thirst does not always accurately reflect the body's actual hydration status. Even without noticeable symptoms, internal changes in the blood have already begun, and this directly affects the circulatory system. When the body is dehydrated, the amount of plasma in the blood decreases, making the blood thicker and more difficult to circulate. You can think of it in simple terms: water flows easily, but a thicker fluid is much harder to pump. At this point, the heart must work harder to push blood throughout the body. From a physiological perspective, blood is not just a simple liquid, but a mixture of plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. When the body is dehydrated, plasma volume decreases, making the remaining components more concentrated. This increases blood viscosity, slows circulation, and increases the workload on the heart. According to the American Heart Association, maintaining proper hydration helps the heart pump more efficiently and significantly reduces stress on the cardiovascular system. In contrast, dehydration forces the heart to operate under heavier than normal conditions right from the morning. But the issue does not stop at increased cardiac workload. Morning is also the time when the body's clotting activity naturally reaches a higher level. This means that blood is not only thicker, but also more prone to forming clots compared to other times of the day. This is a normal biological mechanism designed to protect the body in case of injury. However, in the context of already thickened blood due to dehydration, this mechanism can unintentionally increase the risk of vascular blockage. When these factors occur together, the risk rises significantly. Morning hormones make the heart work harder. Dehydrated blood slows circulation, and stiffer blood vessels due to aging make blood flow even more difficult. You can imagine the morning circulatory system like an old plumbing system, where the fluid becomes thicker, pumping pressure increases, but the pipes themselves are less elastic. In such a system, even a small weak point can potentially lead to a blockage. And that is why an ordinary morning can become the most dangerous time for cardiovascular health when these factors come together. The most important solution to reduce morning risk does not lie in medication or complex equipment, but in how you handle the first 90 seconds after waking up. This is the period when your body rapidly transitions from rest to activity. If the change is too sudden, your cardiovascular system can experience unnecessary stress. That's why this simple routine is designed to help your body adjust gradually and safely. The first step is to stabilize your breathing. As soon as you open your eyes, do not jump out of bed. Stay lying down and take 3 deep breaths. Inhale slowly through your nose. Then exhale gently through your mouth. This helps activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which promotes relaxation, stabilizes heart rate, and reduces the impact of stress hormones that are elevated in the morning. Within just about 15 seconds, your body begins to return to a more balanced state. The second step is hydration. After a long night, the body is always mildly dehydrated, which makes the blood thicker than usual. If possible, keep a glass of room temperature water next to your bed. Drink it immediately while still lying down or sitting up. Early hydration helps improve blood flow, reduces strain on the heart, and supports smoother circulation right from the start of the day. The third step is a gradual change in posture. Instead of standing up immediately, slowly turn your body and sit on the edge of the bed. Once seated, gently rotate your ankles a few times to activate the calf muscles. These muscles act as a secondary pump, helping push blood from the legs back to the heart more efficiently. Then remain seated for about 30 seconds to allow your blood pressure to stabilize. Only when you feel steady should you slowly stand up, and then pause for another 10 seconds before walking. This routine may sound simple, but its purpose is very clear. It helps prevent the heart from being forced into sudden overreaction at the most sensitive time of the day, thereby reducing strain on the cardiovascular system and lowering the risk of sudden events in the first minutes after waking up. Finally, there are a few very important notes, especially for people who are taking blood pressure medications or diuretics. Some of these medications can increase the excretion of minerals through urine, including magnesium. Magnesium plays a key role in stabilizing the heart's electrical activity. When magnesium levels are low, the heart's electrical conduction system may become less stable, increasing the risk of arrhythmias, especially in the morning when the body is already more vulnerable than usual. Therefore, individuals on long-term medication should consult their doctor and undergo regular checkups to ensure their mineral levels remain within a safe range. In practical terms, there is a very small change that can make a big difference starting today. Simply prepare a glass of water and place it next to your bed before going to sleep. This simple action makes it much easier to hydrate as soon as you wake up, instead of delaying or forgetting. More importantly, share this information with your loved ones, especially elderly family members. Many cardiovascular risks do not come from major causes, but from small daily habits that go unnoticed over time. Understanding and adjusting these habits can significantly reduce the risk of sudden events during vulnerable moments, particularly in the morning. The heart works continuously throughout our entire lives, never taking a single break. That is why dedicating just 90 seconds each morning to protect it is not much, but it can have a very meaningful impact on long-term health.